Hi everybody, Mike here. You know, one of the things I always find when I'm teaching a course is that I end up learning as much as the students sometimes in regards to different features and things like that. So the same is true with the Moodle 2.4 courses. Now, right now I'm showing you the experienced course. It's very similar to the beginner course, and because I wanted people to expand as much as they wanted to and learn as much as they wanted to about the different features. Well, John Buckley had a great question when in this course, the way it's set up right now and the way I created it, I made web pages of each of the sections. So I made a copy of it, pasted it onto a web page, and these orientation links take you to those web pages that are copies of the sections of the course. So for example, I go here and I see this page and I see the icons here, but these really aren't, I can't edit them if I go into edit mode. This is all just a copy of the topic that I had set up inside of the Moodle. Well, one of the problems with that, as John pointed out, is you can't check off when you've completed one of these things. The other thing is I had to add these links here to get to the next section, or back and forth. Well, there's a different way of doing it that I discovered through the process here of kind of playing around that I think some of you might like better. This new way that I'm going to show you in a second allows you to maintain the um, ability to have checklists for checking off, and it also automatically builds in some navigation between different sections and things like that. So that's what I'm going to show you here in a second. So I'm going to return to my normal role as the teacher of the course, and I'm going to come back to the main page. And then I'm going to go into the settings. And what I discovered is that inside the settings, there is a section here of formatting options for topics. Now I set this up so that so 0 sections would show up, and what that means is that the top section or whatever is at the top is the only thing that's going to show up. That's how it gets that no scroll aspect. So in order to make these changes, I'm going to make it so I can see all of my sections. And right here in the course layout, it's defaulted to all sections on one page. But when I change it so that I get this new method of no scroll, I'm going to actually change it to show one section per page, and that's how I'm going to get that change. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. Down here where I have completion tracking set, I'm going to change it, enable it, and begins on enrollment. That's going to allow you to check off as you complete things and would allow your students to do so in your course. I'm going to go ahead and save the changes for a moment. Now, by changing it to showing one topic, one section per page, what that's going to allow us to do is actually link to the section. Prior to that, those sections didn't have links, so you couldn't link to the topic. But now, by doing that, notice that course orientation here becomes blue and gives me that option of doing so. So I click on that, and now I see the full course orientation, including that extra page I created. So I'm going to turn on the editing, and now that I'm going to change things over, I don't necessarily need that page anymore. So I'm just going to hide it, because I don't need that orientation page. But what I'm going to do here, notice I'm going to get to my, I need to go back and select course orientation, so I just have that section. So here I have the link that I need, and it's going to section 1. So I'm going to copy that. Now I'm still going to have this navigation at the top, but below that I have my full section here of information, and now I can turn on the course completion. Now, I already did it for this first one, and I'm going to do it for some of the others here. I'm going to say students can manually mark the activity as complete and save and return. And now notice I get that checkbox here next to that, and I can do it for the rest of these, which I'll do here in a little bit once I'm done with this video. Now, the next thing I need to do is I've got that section 1 selected. I'm going to go in and edit my navigation to reflect that. Sorry if a plane's going overhead here. South Minneapolis is a beautiful place. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to click on the link and paste that new link in. I'll call it orientation. And say insert. And I'll go ahead and save. So by doing this now, and I'm just going to go back to switch role here to students so it's back in the view that you would see. When I click on this, instead of taking me to a page, it's taking me to the orientation section. Now I have to scroll a little bit, but here I see that section. I see now that as I complete things, I can check them off. And the other nice thing is it automatically builds in a link to the next section. When I go to adding resources, boom, it's going to show that section, and I can go back if I need to. I can go on to the next section up on top there. I'll build in all of these checklists. I still have the pieces there, and I'll have to hide that adding resources page, my page that I created for this section. But by doing that now, it's not quite as no scrolly as it used to be, but it automatically builds those navigations in, and it gives you the ability to have that course completion checklist in place, which is very useful to students. So this is an alternative way to do no scroll. It's one that I think probably I'm going to change this course to, and I suggest that, to be able to take advantage of some of the other features that Moodle 2.4 has, that this might be a better way to do no scroll. Certainly can do it the way that I initially showed you, but I wanted to make sure that you saw this method as well. Thanks and have a great day.